What if the way a man greets you holds the secret to his true feelings? According to legendary psychologist Carl Jung, his slightest gesture, the way he looks at you, touches you, or even says your name, can reveal whether he's deeply, unconsciously obsessed with you. These aren't just random actions, they're clues from the hidden depths of his mind. Carl Jung, the pioneer of analytical psychology, believed that love and attraction are governed by forces beyond our conscious control. The way a man greets you isn't just politeness, it's a window into his unconscious desires, shaped by primal instincts and ancient archetypes. In this video, we'll decode the hidden signals in his body language, from lingering eye contact to subtle touches, and what they truly mean according to Jung's theories. By the end, you'll know exactly when a man's greeting is just friendly, and when it's a silent confession of obsession. Carl Jung's theory on love and attraction. Carl Jung's exploration of love and attraction delves far beyond surface-level emotions, reaching into the profound depths of the unconscious mind. At the heart of his theory lies the concept of the anima and animus, the hidden feminine and masculine aspects within each individual. For a man, the anima represents his inner ideal of the feminine, shaped by his experiences, cultural influences, and even ancestral imprints. When he meets a woman who resonates with this unconscious image, something powerful stirs within him. It's not merely about physical beauty or shared interests, it's an almost mystical recognition, as if she embodies something he has been searching for without fully realizing it. This projection of the anima explains why a man might feel an inexplicable pull toward certain women, those who, in some way, mirror the essence of what his psyche has deemed sacred, mysterious, or irresistibly compelling. Attraction, in Jung's view, is rarely a conscious choice. Instead, it is orchestrated by the unconscious, which communicates through symbols, gestures, and instinctual behaviors. A lingering gaze, an unconscious mirroring of posture, or the subtle electricity of an accidental touch, these are not random occurrences. They are the language of the unconscious, revealing desires that the rational mind might not yet acknowledge. Jung believed that the human psyche is wired to seek wholeness, often through union with another, and this quest manifests in the silent, symbolic dance of courtship. The way a man positions his body, the tone of his voice, even the pauses in his speech can all be read as fragments of a deeper narrative, one that speaks of longing, fascination, or even an almost primal need to connect. This is why greetings hold such significance. The first moments of interaction are like a psychological handshake, where unconscious signals are exchanged at lightning speed. A man who is genuinely captivated won't just offer a polite hello. His greeting will carry traces of his unconscious investment. Perhaps his voice softens when he says your name, betraying an emotional weight behind the word. Maybe his usual confidence wavers for a split second, revealing vulnerability. Or his touch, whether a firm handshake or a brush against your arm, lingers just a fraction longer than necessary, as if his body resists parting. These micro-moments matter because they bypass the filters of social conditioning, offering a rare glimpse into what he truly feels before he's had time to edit himself. In Jung's framework, these signals are archetypal, universal, timeless, and deeply telling. They are the echoes of ancient courtship rituals, playing out once again in the modern world. Jung's theories suggest that love at first sight isn't a myth but rather a sudden, overwhelming recognition of the anima or animus in another person. When a man greets you in a way that feels charged, different from how he greets others, it could be his unconscious reacting to this recognition. The way he holds eye contact might reflect a soul-deep curiosity, as if he's seeing not just you, but the shadow of something eternal within you. His laughter might come easier, his posture more open, as though his very being is drawn toward you without his conscious permission. These reactions are not calculated. They are involuntary, governed by the invisible forces Jung spent his life studying. To understand them is to understand the hidden language of desire, one that speaks in glances, gestures, and the silent, electric space between two people meeting for the first time, or the 100th. When a man is truly captivated by you, his eyes will betray him in ways his words never could. Prolonged eye contact is one of the most telling signs, not the polite, fleeting glance exchanged in casual conversation, but the kind of gaze that lingers just a moment too long, as if he's drawn into a silent dialogue with your soul. Carl Jung believed the eyes were more than just physical features. They were portals to the unconscious, revealing truths that the conscious mind might hesitate to voice. In those extended moments of locked eyes, something deeper is communicated, an unspoken recognition, an almost magnetic pull. If his pupils dilate slightly when he looks at you, that's the body's involuntary response to fascination, a primal signal that you've captured his attention in a way that goes beyond mere interest. This isn't just attraction, it's a subconscious acknowledgement that you resonate with something deep within him, something he may not even fully understand himself. Then there's the energy he radiates when he greets you, warm but tinged with a subtle nervousness, a quiet intensity that sets his interactions with you apart from how he engages with others. A man who is emotionally invested won't always be perfectly composed. Instead, you might notice a slight hesitation in his speech, a fleeting tremor in his hands, or an uncharacteristic fidgeting when you're near. These small cracks in his usual demeanor are unconscious admissions of vulnerability. Jung would interpret this as the ego momentarily stepping aside, allowing the raw, unfiltered emotions of the unconscious to surface. It's as if his psyche recognizes the significance of your presence, bypassing his usual defenses and revealing a layer of authenticity reserved only for those who stir something profound within him. Another unconscious giveaway is mirroring, the way his body subconsciously mimics your movements, creating an unspoken rhythm between you. If you lean in, he leans in. If you cross your arms, he does the same shortly after. This synchronization isn't a deliberate act. It's a phenomenon rooted in the brain's instinct to bond with those we feel connected to. Jung saw this as evidence of psychological attunement, a silent dance of the unconscious minds aligning. When a man mirrors you, it's his psyche's way of signaling that he's in sync with you on a level deeper than words, as if his very being is trying to close the invisible gap between you. The way he says your name is another hidden clue. Pay attention to the tone, the inflection, the almost imperceptible softening of his voice when it leaves his lips. A name is more than just a word. It's a symbol that carries emotional weight. Jung believed that the unconscious imbues certain words with personal meaning, and when a man is drawn to you, your name becomes charged with that significance. If he lingers on it, or if his voice takes on a warmer, more intimate quality when addressing you, it's a subtle but powerful indication that you occupy a unique space in his mind. Physical touch, no matter how slight, is another unconscious signal steeped in Jungian symbolism. A handshake that lasts a beat too long, a brush of his hand against your arm as he laughs, or the casual yet intentional touch on your shoulder, these are all gestures that transcend mere friendliness. In Jung's framework, touch is a symbolic act of union, a primal way of bridging the gap between two people. Even the most restrained man will reveal his attraction through these fleeting moments of contact, as his unconscious seeks to dissolve the boundaries between you. Finally, observe his posture when he's near you. A man who is genuinely interested won't just face you. His entire body will orient itself toward you, as if pulled by an invisible force. Open, relaxed posture, uncrossed arms, feet pointed in your direction, a slight lean forward, are all archetypal signs of receptivity. Jung would interpret this as an instinctual display of engagement, a physical manifestation of his unconscious desire to invite you in. Closed-off body language is reserved for the outside world. When he's with you, his body betrays an openness that speaks volumes. These signs, woven together, create a silent language of desire, one that operates beneath the surface of conscious thought. Jung's work reminds us that love and attraction are not always loud declarations. Often, they're whispered in the quiet spaces between words, in the involuntary reactions that the unconscious lets slip. To understand them is to decode the hidden poetry of human connection. The subtle yet powerful gestures a man displays when he's deeply attracted to you aren't merely personal quirks, they're expressions of something far more ancient and universal. Carl Jung's concept of the collective unconscious helps explain why these behaviors feel so familiar across cultures and generations. Within this shared psychic reservoir lie archetypes, primordial patterns of behavior that manifest in how we love, desire, and connect. When a man holds prolonged eye contact or unconsciously mirrors your movements, he's not just responding to you as an individual, he's participating in timeless rituals of attraction that our ancestors would recognize. These universal attraction cues emerge from the deepest layers of the human psyche, surfacing in remarkably consistent ways regardless of background or upbringing. The dilation of pupils, the slight tremor in his voice, the instinctive lean toward you, these are biological and psychological responses that transcend personal experience, revealing how profoundly our romantic behaviors are wired into the species itself. What makes these signals particularly fascinating is that men often have no conscious awareness they're displaying them. This lack of realization speaks to the autonomous nature of the unconscious mind, a cornerstone of Jungian psychology. The unconscious operates independently from our will, expressing itself through symbols, dreams, and these very bodily manifestations of attraction. A man might firmly believe he's just being friendly while his body language screams devotion, because his true feelings reside in a part of himself he hasn't yet brought to light. This explains why people often say one thing but their behavior reveals another. The unconscious always finds a way to communicate what the conscious mind might deny or suppress. The more intense his attraction, the less control he has over these micro-expressions, making them remarkably honest indicators of his genuine interest. Jung saw clear parallels between these human courtship behaviors and the instinctual rituals of the animal kingdom. The way a man puffs his chest slightly, maintains intense eye contact, or seeks subtle physical contact mirrors the displays seen throughout nature, from birds performing elaborate mating dances to primates grooming their preferred mates. This isn't coincidence but evidence of our shared evolutionary heritage. The peacock fans its feathers, the wolf maintains steady eye contact with its mate, and the human man lingers in your personal space. All are variations on the same biological imperative. Jung recognized these patterns as manifestations of what he called psychoid phenomena, where psychological patterns and biological instincts meet. The nervous energy he displays around you? That's the human equivalent of a stag's adrenaline before a mating challenge. The protective stance his body adopts? A refined version of the territorial displays seen throughout mammalian species. These behaviors become particularly intense when a man encounters someone who resonates with his anima, his internal ideal of the feminine. In such moments, his unconscious reactions become even more pronounced because they're not just about attraction to you as a person, but about the awakening of something archetypal within him. This explains why certain greetings or interactions can feel charged with almost mythical significance. They're touching on patterns that have existed since the dawn of human consciousness. The collective unconscious doesn't deal in individual personalities but in eternal roles and dynamics, which is why these attraction signals often feel larger than life, as if you're both participating in a story much older than yourselves. The comparison to animal behavior isn't meant to reduce human connection to mere biology, but rather to highlight how our most sophisticated romantic interactions are built upon these ancient foundations. Where animals have rigid instinctual patterns, humans have what Jung called instinct with choice, the ability to take these primal impulses and weave them into complex emotional and psychological experiences. That slight touch he gives when greeting you carries echoes of primates bonding through grooming, refined through millennia of human development into something subtler but no less meaningful. His open posture recalls both the wolf presenting its vulnerable throat to a mate and the medieval knight kneeling before his lady, different expressions of the same underlying impulse toward connection and surrender. Understanding these behaviors through Jung's lens allows us to see them not as random or isolated, but as part of a grand pattern of human relating, one that connects us to our ancestors, to the natural world, and to the deepest parts of ourselves we're often barely aware of. These greeting behaviors matter precisely because they bypass the persona, the social mask we all wear, and provide direct glimpses into the authentic self that lies beneath. In a world where words can deceive and intentions can be disguised, these unconscious signals remain remarkably truthful if we only learn how to read them. They form a silent language of attraction that predates speech itself, written in the body before the mind even realizes what's being said. When you recognize these unconscious signals of attraction in a man's greeting, the question naturally arises, how should you respond? Jungian psychology offers profound insights into this delicate dance of connection. Mirroring his energy can be effective to a point, as it creates that unconscious synchronization that fosters intimacy, but there's an important balance to strike. Complete reciprocation of his interest, when genuine, builds trust and allows the connection to deepen organically. However, Jung would caution against artificial games or calculated withholding of interest simply to provoke pursuit. The unconscious recognizes inauthenticity, and what begins as playful hard to get can inadvertently trigger his shadow material, those unhealed wounds around rejection or unworthiness. Instead of rigid strategies, focus on authentic engagement. If you feel drawn to him, let your own unconscious responses flow naturally, a returned smile, engaged eye contact, or open body language. These genuine signals create a reciprocal energy that's far more powerful than any manipulative tactic. Jung placed immense value on authenticity in relationships, viewing them as sacred containers for psychological and spiritual growth. He believed we're drawn to partners who challenge us to confront our unconscious aspects, both light and shadow. When responding to a man's romantic interest, the most psychologically healthy approach is one of honest self-expression. Ask yourself, does your response align with your true feelings, or are you modifying your behavior based on fear, insecurity, or gamesmanship? Jung warned that when we abandon authenticity to secure love, we create relationships built on persona rather than truth, which inevitably crumble under the weight of unmet expectations. If his greeting stirs genuine interest in you, respond in kind without pretense. If you're uncertain, honor that truth as well. The unconscious respects integrity, and forcing feelings creates inner conflict that will surface eventually. However, it's crucial to remain discerning, as not all intense greetings signal healthy attraction. Jungian psychology helps identify when enthusiastic interest crosses into concerning territory. If his greeting feels overwhelming rather than warmly engaging, perhaps through invasive physical contact, possessive energy, or an intensity that disregards your comfort, these are red flags masquerading as passion. Jung understood that what initially appears as romantic obsession often reveals a man projecting his anima, his inner feminine ideal, onto you rather than seeing you as a real, separate person. This kind of instant, overpowering intensity frequently indicates he's not truly connecting with you, but rather with an internal fantasy. Other warning signs include greetings that feel performative rather than authentic, or where his attention feels smothering rather than respectfully engaged. The healthiest response navigates between openness and self-protection. You might meet his warmth while maintaining appropriate boundaries, or match his vulnerability while observing whether his interest remains consistent over time. Jung emphasized that genuine connection develops gradually as two people reveal their authentic selves layer by layer. If his greeting suggests deep interest, allow the relationship to unfold at a pace that respects both your psychological boundaries. Watch for consistency between his initial signals and his ongoing behavior. The unconscious reveals truth over time. Most importantly, stay attuned to your own inner voice throughout these interactions. Jung taught that our deepest wisdom often speaks through intuition and somatic responses, that gut feeling when something is right or wrong. In matters of the heart, these unconscious knowings are frequently more reliable than any conscious analysis of his behavior. Ultimately, how you respond should honor both his genuine interest, when present, and your own psychological well-being. The healthiest relationships emerge when two people meet authentically, without pretense or manipulation, allowing their unconscious selves to communicate as clearly as their conscious ones. This creates the possibility for what Jung called the mysterium conjunctionis, the sacred union where two whole people come together while maintaining their individuality. Whether through returning his smile with equal warmth or gracefully stepping back from intensity that feels premature, your most empowered response always begins with self-honesty and ends with mutual respect. In this space between two authentic people, attraction either flourishes into something real or naturally dissipates, and either outcome serves the soul's growth. The way a man greets you holds a universe of unspoken meaning, more revealing than any grand romantic gesture or carefully crafted compliment. From that first lingering glance to the unconscious lean of his body toward you, these subtle cues are the unconscious mind's way of confessing what his words may not yet dare to say. Carl Jung's wisdom reminds us that attraction isn't just a matter of chance or choice. It's a dance of archetypes, primal instincts, and hidden psychological forces. When a man is truly captivated, his body betrays him in ways he can't control. Through prolonged eye contact that feels like a silent conversation, the slight tremor in his voice when he says your name, or the way his touch lingers just a moment longer than necessary. These signals aren't random. They're echoes of something ancient, written in the language of the collective unconscious. Pay attention to these subtle cues. They reveal more than words ever could. The next time a man greets you, watch for those unconscious tells. Does his energy shift when you enter the room? Does his posture open toward you, as if his very being is drawn in your direction? These are the silent whispers of genuine attraction, the kind that bypasses logic and speaks directly to the soul. And while words can be manipulated, these instinctive gestures remain refreshingly honest. So trust what you observe. Your intuition is picking up on truths that transcend conscious awareness. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Have you noticed these signs in someone's greeting? Have you ever sensed that a man's first glance or touch carried more weight than he let on? Share your experiences in the comments below. Let's unravel these unconscious mysteries together. And if you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our psychology-based dating insights. The unconscious mind never stops speaking. We'll help you listen. Until next time, stay curious, stay observant, and remember, the truth of attraction is often hidden in plain sight.